In my previous series of videos, I discussed the ways of working as a team that would promote high performance. In this series, I will focus on some of the ideas and concepts that can help you and your team understand how to think and behave systemically. I'm Matthew Adam, and I'm a change management consultant with a special interest in helping teams perform at their best. Today, I'm going to discuss working with systems, both in the organisation and outside the organisation. I'm also going to focus on a few systemic ideas that anyone can easily apply to their work context. These ideas will help you and your team reflect on both team and organisational performance, as well as prepare you to develop a strategic mindset that can help your team become resilient and responsive to change. So let's get started. First, we'll look at your organisation. The first step is to know what you're working with, and I call that process mapping. Mapping can be used both for an organisation and for the wider system. Internal mapping is the best place to start, and this will help you to ground the concepts, as you'll be able to apply some of these ideas to your own teams. As you'll know, each team is made up of a group of individuals. And individuals are exactly that, individual. As you'd expect, there will be differences of opinion, differences in personal values, differences in temperament, and as you'll also know, these differences can be both a strength and a weakness. All individuals in a team or a system will interact with each other, and those interactions will guide how you work or don't work well together. Now let's think about the organisation. Each team in your organisation, all with their own interactional processes, will then interact with the other teams, also with their own interactional process. So it wouldn't be unusual for all teams to have different priorities and agendas, which can mean internal competition or even conflict. How would you know if your team is unintentionally undermining itself because of these completely natural and understandable processes? By mapping all the parts of the system, whether that is the team or the organisation as a whole, and including what type of relationships and interactions occur between individuals, you'll be in a really good position to shape your system to be much more effective. So now let's take this idea and apply it to the wider system. That is, the system that is beyond the organisation. Starting with your organisation and everything within it, including all the individuals and the team interactions, think about which other systems your organisation interacts with. You may or may not know these systems intimately, but you will have some understanding of their drivers, their values, their aims, and their objectives. You will be either working together or in competition. And there will be factors that are relevant to both your system and the wider system as a whole. These elements are somewhat generic. So think about your wider system specifically and include all other organisations who contribute to or share your purpose. Now think about how all these parts of the system interact together. What are the relationships like between agencies? Which organisations work well together? Which don't? What are the needs of one part of the system? And is your organisation meeting those needs? At this point, you might want to ask if the system works well together or not. Mapping can be an extremely useful tool to generate improved interactions both internally and externally, so do give this process enough time to get as much detail as possible. Remember this, thinking systemically means thinking about relationships. Once you've mapped the system, you can start to develop strategies that are based on how your organisation works both internally and outwardly. Using the following 3 concepts, you can begin to work more effectively by using this relational understanding of the relevant systems to devise clear, strategic plans that can help you deliver your outcomes. The 3 concepts are curiosity, circularity, and hypothesizing. Simply, curiosity is taking a not knowing position. Circularity is about using relational understanding. And hypothesizing is asking who, what, and why. Curiosity means asking questions. It means not making assumptions. And it means being open to different points of view. Circularity means observing relational processes in action. It means communication is a series of feedback loops. And it means recognizing the impact of these relational processes on each other and the system at large. Hypothesizing is born from curiosity and circularity. By answering these questions, you should be able to form a hypothesis that can help guide your next steps. Think, who is involved in the interaction? How are they relating to each other? What do you notice about this? How do the individuals interact with the system? Why do these behaviours or responses exist? And what function do they serve? But just noticing something by being curious and then forming an idea about why this is happening isn't enough. You'll need to know how to apply these ideas. So once you've devised a hypothesis, consider: how will the hypothesis guide your actions? How will you test out your hypothesis? And what action would you take based on the feedback you receive? Understanding how your organizational system works isn't easy, so here are some helpful tips. Remember, feedback loops never end. One comment will enable another comment, and so on. Making assumptions stops you from being interested and curious about why something is the way it is. A hypothesis is never right nor wrong, but it helps you to plan what to do next. Curiosity opens up possibilities where assumptions shut them down. New possibilities shape ongoing feedback loops. Mapping the system is one of the most useful activities an organization can undertake, as it gives a clear snapshot of the health of the system and how the organization interacts with the wider system. This can lead to new insights and new methods of generating solutions for problems, some of which you may never have realized even existed. If you'd like to discuss any of these ideas or get some help with your mapping, get in touch by leaving a comment below or contacting us. We'd be happy to help.